Hello, I'm going to do a quick little in-service on the setup and how to use the Cooper Surgical F9 NST. Once you've taken it out of the box, you're going to plug it in, and your power button is back here on the right, a little rocker switch, and you can power the unit on. The screen can come up at an angle. You just hit this little tab to unlock it, and almost like a lawn chair, it'll go into different positions for you. And just like a lawn chair, you can bring it all the way forward, and then it'll fall back down towards flat again, should you want to make it flat again. Here's your main screen. First thing you're going to want to do is go into settings. And here are your different setting choices. So we'll just kind of work our way through them. Start monitor. Print you want to have on. Maternal information on. And then volume, I believe it's at a higher volume. I lower that down to 2 so it's not too loud and obnoxious. And then you hit OK. Next we're going to go to general. Key volume, I switched that to off. Again, I don't like the monitor to be too noisy. And startup music, I switched that to off as well because I don't like it to be too noisy. Smart Notes is more of a hospital feature. I believe it's defaulted to on. I turned that off, and then I hit OK. Alarms. Alarms is subjective. It's where you want to have the high heart rate and low heart rate set to. Alarm volume, I switched that to low. And then for fetal heart rate 1, baby number 1, alarm on, of course. You set your low. I've got it at 120, but you just click on it. It's touch screen, and you can change it to whatever you want. High, I've got it set for 170. Delay is defaulted at 10 seconds. So you've got a 10-second window for no alarm to go off if the baby's heart rate does go higher than the threshold or lower. I think 10 seconds is a little short myself. I usually will switch that to either 15 or 20 as a delay because this is non-stress testing. And then hit OK. If I was in an acute setting, I'd probably leave it there at 10. And then you could do the same for your twin module. And hit OK. Recorder, when you go into recorder, really the only thing you're going to do in the recorder setting is whether or not you want to have the twin tracing offset. So it's currently on 0 offset, which most fetal monitors throughout the past have always been. Offset's kind of a newer feature, but you can have the second trace, the second baby's trace be at 20 beats higher or lower than actual. You will still see the numbers in real time as actual numbers, but the tracing can be either 20 beats higher or 20 beats lower. Again, it's probably 20% of my customers like to have offset on. It just makes it a clearer way to look at the trace if you're using twins. We'll hit OK. Under fetus, really the only thing you're going to change here is your uterine activity baseline. I think the default is at 10. Most people like 10. I'm going to keep it at 10. Date and time is pretty self-explanatory as far as putting the date and time in. And system, I'll get back to. So we'll exit out of here. And then the other part of setting up your unit, putting the paper in. You've got buttons, push buttons on both sides, which I can't do one-handed. So you're going to do 2 hands, pushing those buttons in. The tray will slide out. And the paper will go in just like this. So the left side is the top, right side is the bottom. So paper will look just like this when you put it in. It's Z-fold, you just gotta drop it in and bring out the top page, and that's how easy it is, and push both sides to click the printer back in. Your ports on the side. So you've got your Toco in green and your heart in blue. Baby number 1 on the bottom, baby number 2 at the top. So for this really matters if you're using offset, because if you plug baby number 1 into the baby number 2 socket, the trace is going to be off by those 20 beats. So if you don't have offset on, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's just best to always have it. So you're going to have the top of this, it's got the little arrow there letting you know it's at the top, and it just slides in, and we'll put in the heart rate, and then we'll slide in the Toco. Where's my arrow? There it is. And then lastly, my remote marker. We're going to plug that in. Where's the end of it? Here it is. And that goes into the little bottom port for remote marker. And here is our remote marker. It's got a nice little holder here on the left-hand side for your transducers and your remote marker. And now we're going to go into the actual use of this. So on the settings button again, we're going to go back to settings, and you can do this, set up a simulated patient. So we're going to go into system, and the password is 4 nines, 9999, and then hit OK. Then at the top there, you're going to see demo. You're going to click on demo, and immediately you're going to see twins over here on the right start up, and then you can hit OK and exit. So now I'm in demo mode. This is nice for the staff to be able to practice without actually hooking up a patient. So our trace is started, and over here are our numbers for the heart rate. And you're only going to hear one baby's heart at a time. So right now, baby 1 it would be the one we're listening to. In simulated mode, it doesn't actually hear the audio for the heartbeat, but you would hear it on a regular patient. And you can just kind of go back and forth between the two just by pushing on it. Oh, yep, sorry. Push it on the actual microphone. You can adjust the volume with the arrows and switch over to which one you want to be listening to, baby 1 or baby 2, and adjust the volume. There's a hard button called channel down below that will also do the same thing. It'll bring you back and forth between baby number 1 and baby number 2 with this hard button called channel. Our Toco, once you put the belt on, you're probably going to have it up near 40, 50, 60. As soon as you hit the auto 0, it's going to drop that Toco down to your baseline of 10. On the screen, we've got some arrows here. That's if you want to go back in time. So as the trace is going on, this is mostly if you're not using a printer. Usually you'll just look at the printout. But if you weren't, you could hit those arrows and actually go back. So say it's been on for 10 minutes. You could scroll back and look at the last 10 minutes right on the screen while the patient's currently hooked up to the monitor. The buttons working left to right. This is our start button. So when you hit the start button, it's going to bring up your options as far as your patient demographics. So you can do an ID, a name, or both. So if I click on name, I can type in whatever name I want and hit OK. As soon as I hit OK after I put ID and or name in, the printer will start and your test will start. So the printer has now been activated after I put in the patient demographics. The next button is for alarm silence. Again, baselining your Toco. This is a non-remote mark, so if for any reason you, or the caregiver, wants to mark an event, you can click on that and it will do it on mark for you. This is your print button, and there's the mark, by the way. This is your print button. That's for the end of the test. Your channel button, again, will go back and forth in between babies if you're in twins mode. And your NIBP is non-active. It's not a feature on this monitor. So you're doing the test and you've come to the end and you want to quit. It's literally test end is hitting the print button again, and it goes into test end. It'll advance out. I actually personally like to open up the tray again using the 2 arrows on each side and go to the next serrated edge to tear. Because it just doesn't tear as nice if you don't go to the next serrated edge. The belt is your button style. So, there's basically 2 different styles of belt. There's hook and loop, or there's button, and this is the button style. They'll go right onto the button of the transducers and wrap around. And I think that is everything there is to know about the F9. Thank you.